Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of this mandala picture from, I'm trying to find the cover for you, from the Colorya Flower Mandalas book. And I've been asked to do this page because I'd spoken about doing half of it in monochrome and half of it in colour. So in yesterday's video I did this bottom part here in the grey and black from the Staedtler Design Journey pencils, the grey number 80 and the black number 9, and now I'm going to do this part. So I'm going to choose my bright colours. So I'm going to start, I did say yesterday I was musing what colours to do, not really sure, but I'm going to start with a red. I had said I would do a red. Now the reds in the Staedtler vary a little bit, so we've got the red which is number 2 and it's quite orangey. But then we've got the Carmine Red 29, which is more pinky, and I think I'm going to go with the pinkier red. I think goes better with grey. So I'm going to use 29 to start with, if I can find it. It's a good start. Here it is, number 29. Okay, and I'm going to do the petals on these flowers first. So I'm going to try make them a little darker at the base and then a little lighter towards the edge of the petal, which is the way I colour a lot. It's actually Johanna Basford's way of colouring, interestingly, and I like it. She'll often leave a little white bit at the very end. I sometimes do that, I'm not today. Gosh, I am so hot. I keep having hot flushes today. It's warm anyway, but oh, I'm gonna have to. I should have brought my fan in with me. Not that I could have used it while I coloured. I haven't mastered the technique of fanning myself with one hand and doing anything with the other. I can't do that sort of coordination. It's. I think it's a learned technique that I haven't yet managed to do, so I can, yeah, but anyway. It's it's okay. So I usually have to stop and fan myself if I get too hot, which forces me to have a little break, which can be good depending on what I'm doing. If I'm working, if I'm looking at the screen, like I was this morning for ages. I was making some shorts videos and uploading them and then putting some music on them. It takes a lot of screen looking, so I tend to do a month's worth at a time and schedule them onto YouTube, just because I find it's the sort of thing where if you get into a sort of system it's quicker, so you keep doing the same thing over and over rather than doing a little bit one day and a little bit another day. But it was nice it's got that all done, because I'm decided I'm going to take a bit of time off in August. I was just talking to my husband about it, because it's around the boy's birthday. I thought it would be nice to have a bit of time off. Usually I have a day off a week when they're at college, but I haven't had that this summer, so I thought I'd just take some days off where I don't do any editing, where I don't do much really. It's rather nice, so I thought I'd take a week off, but I've got to get some stuff done first. This is the only thing when you're self-employed, you can't just take a week off. You have to get everything worked out beforehand, planned out, and get ahead of yourself. But also during August there's a lot going on. I've got various social things going on, various appointments, things like that, so I'm going to have less time for recording and colouring, which is a shame, but that's life, I guess. But so today is Saturday. I'm actually recording on a Saturday, but husband's watching the football and boys are playing games, so I mean, the boys are home all the time now anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. And my husband and the boys are actually going out tomorrow for a few hours, so we've got something planned together, so that's nice. But yeah, I do tend to find I'm working every day of the week anyway, on my YouTube stuff. I am very quick though. I sort of decided today that I've got at least 3 people's work that I could do at the moment, but I probably do the work of 2 on my own with because I'm quick, and I work sort of evenings and weekends, so putting a lot of hours. But I do enjoy it, most of it. There's always something in a job you don't like, isn't there? Yeah, editing is not my cup of tea. It's okay though, because most of it I can just do in the background, so it's okay. And doing graphic design, making thumbnails, I've got a piece of software I use which is better than just trying to do it on my own, but it's just not, it doesn't excite me. And my sister's like, oh, I love doing that sort of thing. I'm like, good, but I'm afraid I can't pay you to do it. Because, oh, what's that? Ah, husband's opening the French doors. That's what I can hear. He's obviously getting warm. And the other one, I just want to darken this a bit. We've got one other, haven't we? And then we need to think about the inside petals, you know, these, and the centre of the flower as well. Now you could do it so that, just trying to work out, that's the inside. I'm going to start over here because I'm a bit confused by that side of the flower. You could do it so that you do a monochrome on this side as well, so just do all reds, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make it more colourful, I think, rather than just red. But you could do that. But also I don't have a big range of reds. This is what have I got in this set? I'm not sure, 48 maybe? It's not huge, whereas if you've got a 120 set of pencils, you're going to have plenty of different shades of red that you could use. Now these pencils are quite hard, the Staedtlers, so they're not as vibrant as some sets. If you used a Prisma for this, it would be much, much brighter red. Or if you could probably get a more vibrant red if you really layered this up, but that's going to take a bit of time. So I'm just doing what I think works. It's sunny today. It's got a little bit, it's felt like it's got a bit warmer. The temperature, like the weather hasn't said that it's getting warmer, but I think it's because it's less cloudy. Get more sunshine, it heats the house up a bit more. Now I'm thinking this is probably that bit. And in here, they're probably all those inside petals, so I think I'm going to leave those. And I'm just looking at the rest. I think that's it, but obviously we can do some more in this red later if we want to. Now the next layer of petals, are we going to go a little more towards pink? Yes, I'm thinking, actually I'm going to use number 25, which is the pink, if I can find it. There it is, number 25. I'm going to use for the next layer, this sort of inside layer. I think it goes really nicely with the with that red. They sort of seem really quite similar family of colours sort of thing. So that's good. another centre. I can't decide. I don't think yellow's going to work. You know, we often do our centres yellow, don't we? We could go lighter, do a really light pink. Maybe I'll do that. But I don't know if that light rose really is the right tone of pink to go with these colours. Oh, it's a difficult decision, isn't it? What would you do? It's no good telling me in the comments, it'd be too late. And do I match all my flower centres together because they look similar? Now I'm going to do a little more with this one before I make up my mind, because I'll show you in a second what I'm going to do. This one here, it looks rather like this but without the outside set of petals, and we've got one there, and I think I'm just going to use this pencil to do these petals with. Something about colouring flowers, I think it might be the repetition of the petals, the colours, the range of colours that you can choose. It's very relaxing, I think. And I'm keeping this really simple as well. Nothing too complicated, not even a little blend of anything. I just got distracted looking at that and trying to work out what I'm going to do with it, but I think I need to do the rest first before I start worrying. I think before I do the centres of these flowers, I might do a bit more. So these three I'm going to do in violet and lavender. So here's the violet to start with, number 6. That's what I'm going to use first. And I'm going to use it for the, for the outside bit first. This bit. And you've probably guessed it, for that centre section of petals. And then we'll do the lighter colour. I've just had a bit of a thought about flower centre. Do you want me to share it? I was just thinking maybe I could do that darker red, the 29 in the middle. That was my thought. Yeah. But I'm going to keep thinking. I don't know why I haven't done those. I've just moved on to the next one. We'll get there in the end. Now I had these little dots around as well, which are nice, these. We might do those in some of the colours we've used already, or we might use some. Sometimes it's nice to use a little bit of glitter pen or metallic pen on those sort of dotty bits. Make it look a little bit magical or special. Oh, the sun's gone in. It suddenly disappeared. It's so funny the way it does that. I remember as a child lying in the garden on sunny days, looking up at the sky, watching the clouds. Don't really get time as a grown-up to do things like that. I used to sunbathe a bit too, which I don't do now. Obviously back then we didn't really know about the risks. We knew that you could get sunburnt, and that would be the only reason we would wear sunblock, would be just for the pain rather than for any other reasoning. We just didn't know. And so yeah, I'd try and get my legs brown, my arms. You know, when you came back off holiday, you'd show off your tan, that sort of thing. Well, there are people now who talk of a healthy tan, but there's just no such thing. But of course, back then, it it's all a bit different. It was almost a status symbol sometimes, because if you went abroad, oh, I'm getting out my next colour. No, number 6, stick with this one, do these petals. It was almost like, you know, you'd come back from abroad, a foreign holiday was something not everyone could afford, and you'd come back with the tan, you know, and it would just be like, you know, I've been somewhere exotic sort of thing. So, but these days, hopefully most people don't do that. I hope so. It's just not safe. I know we need the vitamin D, but from the sun. I just take a supplement. We're told to in the UK anyway, because we don't get enough sun. I don't know what to do here. So it wouldn't be a gap. There'd be a bit of a petal, but it wouldn't go all the way up there. I think I'll just follow what's been drawn. I think that's the best bet, because I can't draw. Yeah, I hope people are more sensible. I've always tried to stop my boys getting sunburn. I think twice they've been sunburned, to, you know, to a painful level. I remember they went on a school residential and they took sunblock with them, but the teachers didn't remind them to put it on, and they got, all the kids and the teachers all got really sunburned. I thought it was a bit slack, shall we say. And apparently there was one girl helping out who was a trainee teacher. She was the only one that had brought any after sun lotion, and she gave it to everybody, all the kids, so they could try and make them feel better. But I was a bit cross. But yeah, it's tricky, because I know we have to let our kids go, but when you let them go and you are expecting them to be with adults who you hope would look after them, it's not good. They had a bit of a disaster actually with that particular trip, because the place they stayed had expected them all to have sleeping bags with them, but hadn't told the school, so parents hadn't provided them. Not that we had one, but you know, we might have been able to borrow one. And so they arrived and there was no bedding. This is number 62, which is the lavender, and I'm basically going to fill in here. I think I'm going to try and keep it fairly even, just because it's a bit easier. I don't want to make it too dark. I want to make sure that it's obvious that it's a different colour. But yes, so they all arrived, and the sort of place said, oh, off you go then, and go and put your sleeping bags in your room. And they all looked at each other. So the place had to try and find as many blankets for them as they could, and it was a farm, so they all had like horse blankets and things like that. Ooh, all scratchy and nasty, and they were all quite cold because they didn't have enough bedding, and there was no sheets, so it was just like a blanket on top of them. So, But you know, was all a learning experience for them. How not to do things. But they didn't get any at secondary school residentials, because they weren't in. They were doing homeschool. Well, school at home. You know, home learning, or whatever they called it. During the time they should have had their field trip and things, because schools were closed, so it was a bit of a shame. I think that should be dark in there, like that, and I'm gonna do that like that. I know it isn't quite right, but I think it looks almost right. Yeah, so they missed out on their geography field trip because they were home learning, which was a shame. and then my son had the opportunity to go with his college. Now I'm going to do the centres of these in the lavender, sorry. I'm going to press a little bit harder, but not completely like that, so it's a slightly different shade. No. That was nearly a bit of a disaster. And then guess what I've decided to do with these. This one. So this is the number 29 I'm going to do for these. Yes, so my son did geology A-level and they had a trip. It was a bit of a fun trip really. They didn't have to do it as part of their assessment, but it was a bit tricky because we couldn't get insurance, so I didn't let him go because we could have lost our money. Had the trip been cancelled, we wouldn't have got our money back, and it was a lot of money, so I didn't do it. He was a bit annoyed at the time, but I think he understood really why. He's forgiven me for it, I think. Right, so this one here, I'm going to do a slightly different colour. Just because I wanted this to be bright and colourful, but we haven't got a big load of different colours at the moment. So I'm going to grab the Bordeaux, which is 23. Is that what I want? No. Yes, maybe it is. Magenta. No. Sorry. I'm going to grab the 20 and the 21. So these, oops, are slightly lighter pinks. Okay. So the 20 is my darker one, and that is magenta. It's called. It isn't what I would say was magenta, but I'm going to use it for yeah, for here, and then in here, I think. There we go. And then the lighter one, which is the 21, which is called Light Rose. I'm going to use for the rest. So that's just block colouring. I might do these, fade these a bit towards the edge. Like that, and then a bit here. I think I'll make this quite intense. Wow, that sun in and out, just teasing me. There we go. Now I need some green. Now we have some sort of berry type things. I'm going to leave those for now. I'm going to grab my greens. The darkest green, I think I'm going to use the yeah, I'm going to use the 52, the sap green, for the sort of stems and edges. So you'll see what I mean. Just hold the book still. So this bit here, just quite block colouring, and these bits I'm going to actually do the stripes, just because I want a bit more colourful, you know, variation in colour. It is a little odd to me to have stripy leaves, but you know, it's okay. Now the berries, I feel like I want them to be a different colour, but what? You know, I'm thinking what goes with these colours that we've used and what goes with the grey and black. Thinking, well, blue goes with the grey and black, but we can't do blue berries. I mean, I know we get blueberries, but they're not really blueberries, and they're not really blue. They're almost black, so that's not an option. We could use a different shade of pink or red. Maybe I'm going to do this one solid, so that's another option. Maybe the red, number 2, I might do that. I don't think I want orange, browns. I don't think it's going to make it too warm. Although my greens are a little bit warmer, I don't want that. This is helping though, isn't it? It's more colour. Once we've got our lighter green in as well, it's going to be a lot more colour. We could do the little dots in blue. That would add a different colour, wouldn't it? They could, because what are they? We don't know. So it could be anything. I'm just doing hard colouring for the minute. Well, quite hard. Getting these sort of bordery bits done. When we do our lighter colour, we'll do something a bit different. There we go. Now the lighter colour is the 50, which is the willow green, I think, rather than the 53 is a little bit too pale. And I know this goes really well with the other green. These two greens go nicely together. So I'm going to try and make this a little bit darker towards the base of this leaf, and then fade it a bit towards the tip. I'm getting thirsty. What time is it? 2 o'clock. It's probably time for a drink. When isn't it time for a drink? It's always time for a coffee or a tea, isn't it? I don't drink alcoholic drinks. I'm not saying alcohol. I don't like them. I don't understand the appeal. I don't know. So I was never brought up really drinking very much. It just doesn't, I don't like the taste very much. I like a warm drink most of the year round anyway. So I'm trying to, with these, just make them a little darker on the edges than the middle. And then it will make them look a bit more rounded. My son is so loud. It's nice to hear him chatting to his brother. They're very often sitting right next to each other, plugged in to their headphones and things, and just not talking. Although they sometimes talk to themselves, which can be slightly disconcerting. If you think, should I have been listening? Should I be answering? It's not making any sense. Is he talking to me? What I find interesting about this picture is both halves are really different in the drawing style as well. Whereas you could do this with any mandala, and you could just use your ruler to draw a line halfway, or just imagine it there if you can do that, and just do different colours, or even into quarters or eighths or sixths or whatever, and do different parts in different colours. And you know, even if it's a symmetrical mandala, it might just be a way to make it a bit different. In fact, I'm thinking maybe I should do that, like a rainbow mandala, although there's 7 in the rainbow. I think trying to get it into 7 even pieces is beyond me, but I could do it in 6, maybe. 4 or 8 is easier, isn't it? Could do it in 8, then you could do 2 shades of something. So you could do yellow, well, I'd probably do yellow and orange and red, then pink, purple, blue, bluey green, then green maybe. I could do a brown. In fact, a brown would then link back into the yellow quite nicely. We could do it like that. Okay, there's our lighter green. So yeah, I think I'm going to I'm looking at my gold and I am wondering whether to do these in gold, but I don't think so. I think I am going to do them in the red, like I said. What number was it? Number 2. Gosh, it's so orangey looking. No, I know. 61, dark mauve. That's what I'm going to use, dark mauve. And that's for these, the ones that look like seed pods. We're nearly done now. I'm really enjoying this and waffling away to you about all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I'm just thinking about what I've got to do. But I find it's interesting because colouring is mindfulness. It takes you away from thinking about what's going on. Actually, sometimes it actually gives me a chance to think, because I'm planning things, thinking about things, but because I'm relaxed, it helps me, you know, with pondering things over sometimes. Okay, so the dots in blue, I want to use quite a, not a greeny blue, not a pale blue. I'm thinking Delft blue, blue cobalt blue, maybe, yeah, the cobalt blue. It's number 33. Just trying to find it. There it is. 33 is cobalt blue, and I'm going to use it for these. I'm going to try and make them a bit darker on the outside than the middles, but I don't think it's going to work. Now, before I finish, I can add some white dots or some sparkle, things like that to the page. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually. I'll have a look and I think when I'm done. It might just not need it. Sometimes a bit of white just helps things jump out a little bit. Now, I haven't put a background on this page at all. If you wanted to be really adventurous, you could put a sort of rainbow colour background here and a grey one here, but I really don't think that's going to work particularly well, to be honest. So, oh, I knew I would have missed something. Now let's check again and see what I've missed. I think I'm there. Now I could put some white dots around these circles, around the centre parts, but I can't think of anywhere down there I would put white dots, so I'm not going to do any for that reason. Okay, let's straighten you up a bit. I think that's a bit straighter. I'm rubbish at getting things straight, but there we go. So there it is, finished. I had such fun. Thank you for joining me. I hope that was interesting and thought-provoking. I realise that you may not have coloured along, but hopefully you found something to colour, and there we go. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a super day. Please like, subscribe and comment if you've got something to say. Just a heart, just anything, you know, a smiley face, that's perfect. Thank you so much, and yeah, happy colouring.